guys, it's May and we are fixing to make something out of nothing. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I guess it's not nothing for those of us who love crafting. These paper pad cardboard pieces really become our friends, don't they? So we're fixing to do something super fun. Okay, I'm going to make a pendant out of nothing, out of this, a necklace or something you're actually going to wear. So let me show you how it works. I have a couple of punches. I have a 1.5 inch scallop punch and I have a 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch 4, if I get it in there, 4 of these scallop circles. Now, this is something you probably would have just put in the trash otherwise, you know. So I'm just cutting 4, it's not chipboard. I don't know what you call this, but you know where it comes from. And then I'm going to cut 2. No, I'm going to do more than 2 because I did 2 on my last one. I want it to be a little bit thicker. I'm going to do 3 of these. 3 of these circles. And now, do not throw this away because you can use all of this, okay? So just hang on to it. I have a spot where I just throw it. Whenever I finish a paper pad or something, I don't throw those away. I just put them in a spot. For the next part, you're going to pick some paper. And I'm going to use this Oh Snap because I love all of these oranges and browns in here. So I'm going to pick this polka dot, which is so adorable. I'm going to cut it out of the circle scallop. There it is. And then, I'm going to go back to the one I already started using so I don't waste it. I'm going to use this paper, which is like this white, creamy graph paper, and cut a circle out of that. Now you can do this with stuff you cut out on your Cricut, but I like playing with punches every now and then. I don't play with them a whole lot, and I have a pretty good selection of them, so I thought I'm going to play with them. So, first things first, you can put these aside because we're not going to need these right away. But these guys you're going to need. And I have 3 of the circles and then 4 of the scallops, okay? I'm using this Mod Podge hard coat. I don't think it matters which one you use, I really don't, but this is the one I'm using. So I have several of them and this just dries really fast. I love how it dries. And I just thought I would use this one. Again, you can use school glue for this project. It does not have to be anything fancy. And what we're gonna do is take this Mod Podge and we are going to coat these guys. And I'm working on some wax paper. I like to do that just because it protects the surface of whatever you're, working on. I'm not real concerned about how neat these look. This first coat is just for stability. We'll worry about neatness later. I'm going to show you a way to use your stamp sets in a way that if you have a favorite stamp that you would love to have on a piece of jewelry or on a hair bow or on a charm, you will be able to do it. So now that I've got those coated, you just want to let them dry for just a few minutes. Not very long because they don't take long. And the thinner you coat this on, the faster they dry. This stuff dries. This is not like normal Mod Podge. This stuff dries fast. And just so you know, this one is the one that says it's a water-based sealer. I'm trying not to spill it. I'm laughing because it's like at the edge. Hard coat, water-based sealer. I thought I read that it said it was for furniture. I don't know. Oh, use on wood, paper mache, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Put the lid on that for a few minutes. And now, we're going to move to the next part. Okay, the next part is your paper that you have here. This little circle. You have to pick whatever stamp you want to use. And I'm going to use the candy corn stamp from my Country Pumpkin stamp set, which is the one we're releasing today. So if you go to my blog, you'll be able to see all the ladies and their projects that they're doing. We're doing 3D projects today instead of just card projects, so you will see a multitude of different types of projects. So I'm going to take this off. Okay. I like to use the spatula to get into there and pull those off. Now, I did something bad just then. I picked up my StazOn instead of my Memento, but we're going to be okay because we are going to heat set that for just a second. That's not going to stop it from smearing, but it'll make sure that it's dry for me. Okay, so I actually had to Google a candy corn to see what color they're supposed to be, but I can tell you from experience, the middle is orange. When I color, and I'm just using some market markers, I kind of start a little bit in from the line so I don't pull the black in. Now you're going to let that dry for a good bit. Move it aside, and you have your other piece. Now I'm not going to do anything to this piece because I don't need an edge or anything on it. I'm going to leave it just like it is. I'm just going to sit them to the side for a few minutes. Now these have sat and dried for just, I mean literally just a second. They're still a little bit damp. So what we're going to do is we're going to put another coat on them, but this time I'm going to do them one at a time, and I'll show you why. I'm going to coat one. I'll start with this one. Just a nice thin coat. I'm going to pick this one up and adhere it to it, lining my scallops up. Okay. You want to make sure you line your scallops up, and if you need to pick them up and kind of move them, you don't have long. And then I'm just going to run my finger around to get that glue to seal those edges. You'll need to keep a paper towel handy on this one. Okay, then I'm going to do the next one. These four are going to make one pendant. That way I'll have a nice thick charm. Sit that dude on there and pick it up. Then line it up. Now what I like to do is take a paper towel and squish it with the paper towel on the edge so that any real excess comes out onto that paper towel. Because you're kind of making them one piece here. Basically you're making thick chipboard. And I want to try to get the brush marks out as much as possible. Now I'm going to repeat that process with these three. Now you just need to let those dry. Now this is the back of them. And you notice that this one's not very pretty. I cut another piece using that punch to put on the back of it, so I'm going to do that really quick. This one I don't care about because you're not going to see the back, and you'll see why. So I'm going to get a tiny bit more of this stuff. I'm just going to use my finger because I don't want to clean my brush again. Just rub that around like so. Keep a wet wipe handy, and that's not a bad cleanup there. Then put your scallop on and line it up. And this one's the back, so I'm not, you know, we're not going to do anything to it but put it on. That is it. So I'm not going to coat it right now. I might coat it later, but right now I'm not going to. So I'm going to flip that back over. And on this side, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on. Same technique. A little bit on my finger. And the less you use, the faster this dries. And I think the better it adheres. Because you want it to harden, so you don't want it to stay wet for a whole long time. But you do have to get this in place really quick. Just like that. Now listen. Hear that? You've made chipboard. That's what that is. And look how thick it is. And we just made it with the back of nothing. It was just, you know, a book. So we made some chipboard piece, and there's part of it. Now let's work on this one. So on this one, we're going to do the same thing. A little bit of Mod Podge. Get it wet. Just wet enough for you to be able to move it around when you put it on there. Because you do want to be able to line it up good and even. Then, line it up. I'm going to use a clean paper towel and kind of mash it. Just so I know it's adhered really good and any extra comes out on the paper towel. Now, I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so I have a new piece of wax paper down, and I have brought our pieces over. I keep saying pendant. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but showing you guys how this works. And what I want to do here is I want to adhere this to this. So using that same Mod Podge that I used before, put my finger in it and just put a little in the middle, just like that. Maybe a little bit more than that. Not too much, because you don't want to lose the integrity of the circle. Then you're going to place that on. I'm going to close this up real quick. Using another clean paper towel, line it up. And I'm doing this because my fingers are a little bit sticky. Okay, so I heat set this marker just a little bit It is probably going to smear, but I'm not going to stress about it. A little bit is not going to be a big deal, and I'll show you how it turns out in a minute. This is triple thick. I've showed you this before in like my favorite videos. See, this is triple thick. Can you see that? I get this from Hobby Lobby, and here's what I'm going to do. Don't panic. It's kind of like glitter. We're going to pour a pretty good glob on to the pendant. Then over the bottle, I'm going to roll this, making sure I cover the top of the pendant really good. And then I'm going to let it drop to the bottom and roll it some more. And any extra is just going to go into that bottle. It's kind of fun. This is a messy one. This stuff kind of has a self-leveling agent, which I think is really cool. It's even kind of hard to mess it up, believe it or not. And you want to let any major excess drip off. Just make sure you get it all good and covered. So I'm going to let that drip a good bit there. Just going to let that go. Run my finger around the edge just to kind of settle it out. And then I'm going to sit this down to dry. Now my marker smeared a little bit. It really doesn't bother me. I don't think you can see it that much. It's not that bad. And then, close this up. I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm just going to heat it just a little bit. Just a little at a time. So earlier today I made these projects doing this same technique I just showed you. Here is one of them using the Boo Y'all stamp from Country Pumpkin, and this one is very similar to what I just did with the candy corn. I'm going to bring it up kind of close so you can see. See the shimmer? How pretty? It's just paper, guys. You can use your favorite scrapbook paper. You could make this to match Christmas, anything. If you want to do a mini album with a bunch of enamel looking pieces. Look how cute and how easy. Isn't that precious? I love the shine. I'm going to bring this up a little more and show you. This one I did with a 2-inch scallop and a 1 3/4 inch circle in the middle of white. It says Boo Y'all, and at the bottom I put some little charms on it. I have a little pumpkin, and they're kind of hard to see, aren't they? A little pumpkin, another little pumpkin, and this is a little pumpkin in a bat. And I tied this tiny little bow and put it at the top just to kind of make it, I don't know, a little cuter. And it's on a chain, so I'm going to be wearing this at Halloween because I think it's adorable. And I'm giving this to my little niece Lydia. So there you go, guys. That's something to do with your stamp sets that is not stamping on a card. I hope you enjoyed that little technique. Let me know if you use it and let me know what you think about it. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.